All right, so I'm going to get started today and we're going to talk about previewing property and how that really paves the way to making you money. I think it is something that in the very beginning of your business and in your career, you are taught that, or maybe you weren't taught that. I'm not sure. Okay. But that's what I want to bring to all of you today. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I really just want to get talking about all of it. You know, I've always got some slides and things to share, but I really just want to get started with it. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's get into this and let's really talk about this subject and find out where you are in this subject. Because last week we talked about the value proposition of a buyer's agent. And I'm following through this month and in the coming weeks right now about value. We want to be a value added person and consultant to everybody that we meet. We're always looking to bring and add value. I want value added to me with wherever I'm going to spend my time. I don't want my time wasted and people don't want their time wasted, right? So that value proposition in a buyer's agent, now I'm following that up and continuing it with this subject today because your value, you, is raised when you say, I've been there. Case in point, a travel agent. I want to talk to a travel agent who's been there, someone who can tell me, look, this is my dream trip. I've never been to Greece. I've never been to Egypt. Help me put a plan together. Help me to put this trip together. It's a dream of a lifetime. And if they start to help me put together and I'm asking them the questions, well, have you been there? And then they tell me that they haven't, kind of a drag. It's actually a bummer because now they really can't tell me, oh, make sure you go down this street and you'll find the really great place to eat, or you'll find, you know, the little shops over here, or, you know, the deals, what to be careful of. That's what I'm talking about. Your value is raised when you say, oh, I've been there. I've seen it. I've experienced it. That also includes when you're working with buyers as a buyer's agent. I recognize that many people don't own their own home as a realtor, but I hope that you're working towards purchasing a property, because just keeping it real, I would work with a lot of people that would sell real estate for years, 10, 15 years, and never bought a home, never had a desire to buy a home, and they could, or they weren't pursuing it. And I'm like, how are you helping people constantly if you're not buying a home? See what I'm saying? Same thing has to do with when you're working with investors. There's a point in time when you're learning. Always, we get that. You might have your coach, get mentorship, somebody to help you buying that duplex, that triplex. Once you get into 5 units or more, now it's in commercial. But if you're not an investor and you're working with investors, do you have the investor mindset? Can you really help the investor? If not, you need to get a coach and you need to get a mentor that's going to help you alongside to make sure you're thinking like an investor, because you're not one yet. Okay. Well, as a buyer's agent, again, your value is going to be raised up when you say you've been there. So previewing property, this is paving the way to making a lot of money, not a little bit of money, but a lot of money. And it has to start today. So if you can say with me, hi, my name is, and I can definitely tell you that I need to start previewing property again. Okay, great. You're going to do that, because if you're not doing it, it is so important. It's the most essential realtor task. Okay, it's just the most essential realtor task. It's no secret. Previewing property is underrated and underestimated, that this task is necessary. Like, you have to do this. The benefits of previewing property are substantial, and it's been proven over and over and over and over again, because it gives you the competitive edge. You know more than who? Than the average agent. No matter how many times that I try to beat this into your head today, and even to people that I've coached and for years and years and years, people keep resisting. So I've decided to reduce this to writing this right now and talking about this, why I know that previewing property is essential to your success. It is essential. Okay. All of you should be like in the chat, and on Facebook saying, yes, MJ, I know you're right. I know I'm right because it's essential. So let's talk about your vision. You want to put your vision around it. I'm giving you the vision around it, okay? The vision of previewing property is understanding all aspects of the market area that you're working. You need to have confidence of the neighborhoods that you work, the floor plans, the builders, certain zip codes. What are the sold values? What are the average days on market? Where are the good deals? When is it overpriced? That's the vision around being somebody who previews property. You're understanding all aspects of the market. Your mission should be to be recognized as the SME, the subject market expert. Okay, that's your mission. We are in the people, meeting, relationship building business. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're told every day, lead generate. You should be prospecting. Yep, you should, because that's the business that I'm in. Well, then why do I need to preview property? Well, you're going to meet people when you are out in the field versus sitting down just looking at a computer. People want to meet with you. People want to talk about real estate, start talking about it all the time. What you share, that value that you bring to the conversation is what's going to raise the fact that they should be working with you. Your value just gets raised. So that's your mission, to be a subject matter expert, be a SME. Okay, that's the business that you're in. People want to meet with you. Previewing property is as important as prospecting. We sell properties as is. I switched it to over is as. Previewing property is as important as prospecting. What do you mean, MJ? Seriously? It is. It is. So if you are looking to do this, it's because you want to become the subject matter expert. It's also going to strengthen your listing presentation. What? You know your inventory. You know it. You know it like the back of your hand. You know what's for sale, what's expired, what fell through. You almost need to know the gossip of your marketplace. You need to know the gossip of the neighborhood. Okay, you just need to know. You need to be the busybody and be in the business. So I want you to be a busybody in the business, in the marketplace, in your zip code, in your neighborhood where you work. That's important. You're also building your brand, because when you're previewing property, you're able to talk about it to everyone, and that builds your brand. Because for my company, well, if Chapeau knows, then she knows. Chapeau knows. We just know. We know where the good deals are. We know where you can find where that's overpriced. We know the names of the builders. We know what the floor plans are. You're building your brand by letting people know that you know, your name knows. You're also meeting potential buyers and sellers to work with when you're previewing property, because you're out in the field. Does that make sense? You are out there meeting, touching, and talking to people. Okay, so you're not door knocking. That's not your thing. You're not dropping. You're not door knocking. I am. We're out there. Right now, it's hotter than heck. 3 days a week. Sometimes just 2 days a week. If not, it's 3 days a week. And it's hot. We're meeting people. People are friendly. They're nice. They're actually seeing us out there going, what are you doing out here so early in the morning? We're beating the heat. You know, that's building the brand. But I'm also possibly, what am I? I'm in the meeting people business. You never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to talk to, and what their needs are. The conversation that's going to happen where you're going to be able to share a valuable piece of information, right? So it's just as important as prospecting. It goes hand in hand, neck and neck, together, side by side. So in your schedule right now, you're making your calls, and then you're previewing property. When and what time? We're going to talk about that in just a second. Okay, so just as important as prospecting. All of you should be agreeing with me. Now, you're going to choose in your time slot your area where you're going to go for each day. So if you have a specific zip code and maybe you have 2 zip codes you want to work, maybe they're side by side, then you choose this zip code is on Monday, this zip code is on Tuesday. Once you get in the flow of things and it becomes a routine and there's not a lot to preview, you're also going to want to incorporate different cities. So I want you to look at the days that you work. Monday through Saturday. Let's say Monday, you're going to Anaheim. Tuesday, you're going to Santa Ana. Wednesday, you're going to Orange. And maybe those are the 3 cities that you work, and maybe that's it. Okay, so choose your cities, choose your zip codes. When do you go? Maybe it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a certain area, which could be a certain county. And then maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, you go to a different county. Many times I say, take your Monday through Friday. Listen to what I'm telling you. Take your Monday through Friday and preview resale. Saturdays, preview new builds. Okay, because you need to know what's out there. Collect all of these builder flyers, floor plans, and so forth, especially if you're previewing the areas that you work. And then you will build, I have a big folder over here, I could pull it right now, of properties that I previewed in new builds. So when you do sell one of those properties as a resale, you have the floor plan, you have all the information. So as soon as these new builds come up for sale, you need to be at those model homes. Okay. Now, you're also going to meet people while you're there. We don't steal clients from there, but there's many times that you're walking back to your car and, you know, maybe you're going or whatever. People have seen your badge. Hey, I have a question. They may need to sell their home. The new builder is not interested in selling properties. So have I listed properties by being there? Yes. I can't tell you that it's been a lot of them, probably maybe less than 10 in previewing, but it's basically because I have my name badge on and I'm looking at properties and they go, hey, I'm looking for a realtor. Do you work this area? What do you know? Then you better know that area, right? Okay, so you're also choosing your price point. You can be choosing, I'm going to be previewing properties between 500 and 750,000. Okay. You can say I'm going to be previewing 750,000 to $1 million. All right. You can also be choosing your theme or style or type. Theme could be single stories, view homes. I'll get into that more in a little bit. Okay. Now you're going to preview, it's just as important as prospecting, 5 properties per day, no less than 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You preview 25 properties a week. If you do the 6 day, right? Okay, awesome. Then you've got your 30, that's new build. 30 properties a week. Tell me you're not going to become a SME. How can you not become a subject matter expert if you're not? You will. It's just going to happen because you're out there. Oh, MJ, well, I look at the MLS, it's not the same. The pictures don't say the same thing at all. You get into the property and you go, oh, those pictures were so bad. This looks way better than they do in the pictures, or wow, it looks a lot smaller, or oh my goodness, right? You can appreciate a property better, and then you're also going to be able to see surroundings. So get out of your chair, get off your butt, get in the car. Okay, you're not always going to be able to get inside. MJ, I can't always get inside. You know, people just don't want to let people come and preview property and so forth. I get that. Okay, so you've chosen your 5 properties for the day in the county, city, or zip code that you're going to go for that day. You set your appointments the day before, or maybe 2 days before, just to make sure it's, of course, still available. I like to do the day before. And then if they're not going to let you in, you're going to drive by. You're going to get off. You're going to look around. You're going to see what's happening in that area, and you'll have those pictures with you. Get out of your chair, get in your car, and go. You need to be in the field. You're a subject matter expert. That means you're out there looking at the subjects. Okay, 5 properties a day. Now, how do I meet people? You said that I'm in the relationship meeting people business. Yeah. So when you get to go inside of a property, many times you start out with vacant properties. It's a little easier if you can start out with vacant properties because now what you do is you're going to start knocking doors right around the area. So you've got this vacant property, you just finished previewing it. Let's say it's a probate and it's priced really low. The neighbors around, especially if they haven't had an open house, let's say a probate doesn't have an open house, didn't have an open house, they're curious. Perhaps there's not even a sign on the yard. So now I'm going to knock doors to the right, to the left, and in front of me, a minimum of 15 doors. Just going to knock on the door and I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to say, hi, I'm a local realtor. I'm actually previewing the property for your neighbor. here looking to find a buyer for this great piece of property. Have you had an opportunity to see it? No. Oh, there's not been an open house for you to take a look at it? No. Okay. Would you like a little information about the property? What do you know about the property? Did you know the neighbor? Have a conversation. Reviewing property is just as important as prospecting. Now you get to prospect, you're out in the field. Don't waste your time. It's kind of like when we say, don't waste the backside of a flyer, right? I don't know why I was looking at it, said to add some flyers. You never waste the backside of a flyer. That's a waste. That's a waste of a backside of a flyer. So don't waste your time while you're out there. If you're previewing property, go talk to people. If it's vacant, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to say, well, would you like to come and see it? I just finished previewing it, but I know that I can bring someone and take a quick peek. That way, if you'd like, you can compare what they've done to their home versus what you've done to your home. Do you have the same floor plan? Do you have the same model? How long have you lived here? Have you done any upgrades? You want to come see the great kitchen that they did? Are you tracking with me what I'm saying? Conversation. Take them in to go see the property. They're curious and they want to know. Start having good dialogue with somebody. Now you're going to build your database. Maybe they'll give you their information, talk to you a little bit about what they're doing. Maybe they need some resources and you are that resource expert. You know, we're looking to add some windows. We need to do our backyard. I'd love to do, put a pony wall in the back or fix my slope. Do you have anybody? Yes, of course, I can most definitely help you. Okay. So it doesn't matter how many people you get. The point is you need to do it. So you're going to knock doors 5 to the right, 5 to the left, and 5 in front of you, so to speak. A minimum of 15 doors just right around the property you just previewed, and ask them those great questions. Have you had an opportunity to see this property? What do you know about this property? What can I share with you? Do you know that it's the same model as yours? How long have you lived here? What upgrades have you done to your home? Would you like to compare it to theirs? Have a conversation. Okay. Now, once you're done previewing property, are you guys with me? Yes? Put it in the chat. Tell me. I'm looking at Facebook, but I'm not looking at Facebook. Hi, Facebook. I see you. Okay. When you're done with your week and you've chosen your theme, you're going to do 1 video a day on your best finds. What did you preview? Remember, we talked about how it builds your brand. What are you building? Are you building the fact that your brand and who you are, you're the brand, is a subject matter expert in this zip code, in this community, in this county? Yeah, you are. Okay, so people will start watching your reels, people will start watching your 30, 45-second videos, make them short, sweet, and get to the point. But do 1 video a day about what you're doing. You could say, you know what, this week I'm previewing property for a customer who's looking for a very specific equestrian property. It has to have a barn that has a minimum of 10 stalls. These stalls are for, whatever. And then that's what I'm previewing. Very unique. You want to be the person that they can come to for the needle in a haystack, if you will, or, very specific things. So I'm out today previewing zip code XYZ 123. You go out to that zip code, you come back, you do video. Well, I was able to get into 4 of the properties that I previewed today, and one of them I was able to drive by. Unfortunately, there was no barn the way they said there was, and I'm glad I went out to go see it. However, here's what I discovered. So we're still on the hunt. I'll let you know what happens tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh, they're gonna follow you. We're looking for a following of the right kinds of people, right? I want a following of the right kind of people on my social media page. I want a following of the right kind of people that are going to engage and dialogue with me and actually send me a message. Okay, well, I'm interested. If you have a specific need or find that you want me to go hunt for, I'm your gal. Okay, I'm your gal. Share a financial program, the next one, that suits the best deals that you found. Now you're going to work with your lender. You can either do a post or you can do a video and say, you know what? So this special piece of property, we have an amazing portfolio product that my lender has. I'm sitting with my lender here. Her name is Sarah Smith. His name is Bob Jones. Bob, this particular property really is unique in its format for this reason, because it's zone in a particular area that's agriculture and also commercial zone or whatever it is. I don't know. But if there's a special program for this person or for this property, you're also selling financing to people. You don't realize that? If you didn't realize that, I'm telling you right now. Did you know you're selling financing? You're selling financing. So you should be matching up with your lender on different programs and products that are available, because people at the end of the day, if I've got the subject matter, but I can't afford to buy it and you're not telling me how, there's no win-win. You got to tell them how they can buy it. You got to get them the property, the portfolio product. You got to give them the loan product. Okay. So share a financial program that suits best the deal that you found. Now, what and when are you going to preview? All right. You're going to preview vacant properties. You're going to preview single stories, pool homes, equestrian homes, properties with main floor bedrooms, view homes, properties with nobody behind you. Doesn't have to have a view, could just be nobody behind you. You could be previewing square footage specific. You could be previewing a condo, a townhouse, previewing an acre lot, or just large lots for an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU. You could be driving by multifamilies and helping people understand. I'm previewing right now for somebody who's finally ready to buy a duplex. Let's talk about duplexes and what that can do for you. And so I'm out there previewing today just for duplex. They're not quite ready to go to a triplex yet, but if I find a good deal, I'll let you know. This is what you're going to go out and preview. Okay. I had originally told you you're going to choose a price point or a theme or maybe a style type. So you can choose a price point. This would be your theme. I'm just previewing vacant properties this week. I'm previewing only single stories. You know, the vacant properties. I'm looking for investor specials, fix and flips, tear downs, right? You name it, you should be taking notes right now. You should. Because I know that what I'm telling you is absolutely 100% right on. You're right, MJ. I should be previewing these properties so that I can become a subject matter expert. Absolutely. So write down investor specials, gut jobs, fix and flip type, the junkers. Maybe you've got investors that want to purchase this type of property. Then you be the one that has the properties that they can preview, right? This is it. This is it. I love the chat. Thank you for saying yes. Awesome. Because it is. I know it is. Because this isn't rocket science, right? It's just, I just got to do it. Okay. So what types of themes? Here's your themes. I added a couple more: fix, flips, investor specials, gut jobs, gross properties, things like that. Okay. If you are a mobile home expert, maybe there's a big, huge piece of land with a mobile home or a manufactured property on it. You should be looking at those as well. Okay. But that is your theme, your what. Then you do your specific square footage. I'm looking for square footage. Guys, I've got somebody who needs 4,500 square feet plus. You might have somebody that needs a 6-car garage, somebody that needs 6 bedrooms plus. You can just theme it however you want and then go out and let people know what it is that you're looking for. Okay. What are you looking for when you preview? Okay. So I want to know what the good deals are. That's great. I want to know what you're finding out there as far as price point and square footage and, you know, all that good stuff. But you are looking for specific things. You need to be out actually previewing and looking at this visual of what's good. So you're looking for the upgrades. What upgrades visually can you see? Flooring upgrades, kitchen upgrades, bathroom upgrades, cosmetic, aesthetic looking upgrades. All right. Make notes of that on your MLS sheet. You take your sheet with you and then you make your note of it. Okay. What's the overall condition? On overall condition, I want you to write down that you're going to score the property, because during the week, you're going to be able to tell people, I previewed 25 properties, 30 properties, and I've scored them all based on condition. And these are the top 5. These are the top 3 based on overall condition. These are the top in upgrades. But your overall condition is going to be, you know, this is a 10, move in, turnkey, ready to go. And then just start going down based on how you perceive the condition. You're looking for the potential issues that it has. You're not a roofer, you're not a contractor, unless you are, then great for you. You're not an inspector, but we're supposed to know these things. We're supposed to be able to look at these potential matters that could come along, and it's just for your notification. So you're making notes on your MLS sheet. It looks like we might have some dry rot. The eaves are pretty, rotten, right? They look pretty bad. Patio deck looks really bad. That looks like a tear down job. I've got some, yellow stains in the ceilings. I saw some water that was seeping in the back. Maybe there's a water table issue. Those are just your potential issues that could be going on when you preview. What this is also doing is helping you, especially if you're newer in the business, or you haven't been out previewing a lot of property because maybe you don't have a lot of buyers right now. This is why you need to be out there. Buyers want to know that you know what they should be looking for. So you can talk about that in your videos, right? You can say, when I'm out previewing property, I do look for potential matters. Here's a couple of the things that I look for. If I see that there's a lot of water in the backyard, there's a concern there. Now you're talking in a general sense. You're not, saying that you're an inspector. You're not saying that you're a plumber or anything like that. And you're not talking down about a specific property. When I see that there is a lot of water, my concern is maybe there are, sprinklers that are broken. I was noticing that, there was water coming down a wall there, or there was, stains along the stucco that has concerns. Maybe there's a leak. I don't know, right? So potential issues. These are things that I look for when I'm previewing property and when I'm going to show you. Do a video around that. The exterior, you're always looking at the roof, you're looking at the eaves, you're looking at the wood patios, you're looking at everything exterior wise, and you're making note of that. Curb appeal, whatever. Make your notes of that specific property, okay? Also, your major updates. What have they done? The MLS is going to tell you some things, but can you see? Have they done new windows? Did they tell you that they have a new HVAC system, a new water heater? What are these major updates that they've done? A little different than upgrades. Where have they updated the property? How has the deferred maintenance come along? A property has deferred maintenance. If you're not keeping up a property, you're not staying in line with how the real estate is growing its equity and how it's doing in the neighborhood. That's keeping up with the Joneses, if you will. Okay. So how do you keep up with the Joneses? With your real estate, you take care of the maintenance. Deferred maintenance needs to continue all the way through. Okay. You may not update the house and it still looks like the 70s or the 60s, but everything else is working well. And you've taken care of the things that need updating. Maybe you do have new windows. Maybe you did do repiping, right? Maybe you did change the water heater. You're just taking care of that. Okay, so that's things to look for when you preview. Now, I want you to write this down. Name your property. Pick a name for it. Make a name for it when you go preview. There was one property, I'll never forget it. That's why I'm talking about it. You'll remember these properties because they start to run together after you start looking at properties for a while. That happens to your buyer too. That happens to your client. When you show too many properties in a day, they're confused. Like, I don't even remember which one was that one. So you start learning how to name your property so that you can help your client name your property. I'll never forget a couple of houses. This one house had tons of dolls and Russian dolls. So I called it the dollhouse. Then I had one property that had these plastic flamingos in the front lawn. So I called it the flamingo house. I've called it the alligator house. I've called things the frog house and the pond house and, just all kinds of different names for the house. You name it, and then it helps you remember. It's about you remembering the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then you're also helping your clients, right, on how to name the house. What would you name this house? I think we should give this house a name. Does you think it has a name? Because I think I'm going to call it, and then you say, I'm going to call it the Flamingo House. Or I'm going to call it the Music House because it had nothing but music everywhere. Whatever it is, right? Okay, now the Music House. Remember the Music House? Yeah. Would you write an offer on that house? Or would you write an offer on the Flamingo House? See what I mean? You're helping them identify things and put it together. And try to always be positive, because if there's a negative name to it, then obviously that's not something that they're interested in. But if there's a negative name and they go, I'm calling this house piece of junk. Okay, that's the junker, moving on. And that gets rated a score of a number 1, right? Okay, so what you're looking for when you preview, you're looking for themes, you're making note of it. You need to have your own preview book, okay? Get yourself a notebook, okay? And call it your preview book. and have it with you wherever you go. We are so digital and so mobile, and I get that. And I'm okay with that. But there are certain things that you need to have with you, and you need to be writing things down and making notes. When I was younger, in my younger days, I learned how to preview property correctly, and it made me the agent that I am today. And it also made me a lot of money. I'm in this business to make money, you guys. I hope you're doing the same thing. I'm here to make money. So part of being that subject matter expert was I took my preview book with me everywhere that I went, and I always had it with me. So if I was at the grocery store, if I was in line to get coffee, wherever I was, I had it with me when I went to restaurants, and I had my preview book. And I would always have in front of my preview book, I would have one of the good deals, and it would say on the front, I know you guys can't see because of how it is on the thing. You would have an MLS sheet on the front and say, deal of the week. Nice and big with black letters, deal of the week. And then on the back, I'd have another one, single story of the week, luxury property of the week, fix and flip of the week. And I'd have them with me. Yes, I would get people to go, what's in your book? And then they would see that I previewed in this city, this zip code, that zip code. I'd have builder stuff. It's credibility that what you say that you do, you actually do. You're building credibility, and for yourself. By the end of a certain amount of time, just think about it. I don't do math without a calculator. My husband does. He's a brainiac man. I was born with a calculator in his head. Okay, so if I'm doing 30 properties a week and I'm previewing, including 5 new builds on a Saturday, okay? And let's say I do that for, I don't know, we'll just do 12 weeks, right? So 30 times 12, 360 properties that I previewed. Ask yourself how many properties you previewed this year. Ask yourself if you can find a realtor that's previewed 360 properties. Do you see where I'm going with this? Is just as important as prospecting. It's an underrated, undervalued, most important daily task, because I know what you don't know. I know where the deals are. I know where these properties are. I just saw a property yesterday, and it has a loft at the top, and it's a single story on the bottom. And upstairs in the loft, what they did was they added to the side of the loft. So they broke up the loft. They made a small bedroom, put a closet, put a bathroom, and then they put a door. They opened up the side there. That door leads to the backyard, which leads to a gate. So now that can become a rental. Looking for a property like that, I find deals like that. I find properties like that, because you know what? I preview property every single day. I preview property every single day. That's the credibility behind you being a subject matter expert, building your brand, being able to share value about what you just saw, why that property, the gossip of the neighborhood, that you can say, oh yeah, well, okay, so I preview property every day. I just so happen to see that one property that you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. And that happened to be a probate. Here's what happened. There was a fire in the kitchen. It's definitely a cash deal. That other property is going for less because the roof, it needs a new roof. You need to be able to talk about this kind of stuff. Okay, those are the deals. This property, nobody behind you, 360-degree view. It's amazing. The bummer about it is it has a bunch of trees in the best view, so you're only going to get one side of the view. So they're telling you it's a 360-degree view, but it's not. I mean, you have to know everything. You have to be transparent with people to tell them about everything that you learn. So preview, you got preview, right? So what to look for when you preview. I want you to read this with me. A lot of people in this business really feel like they're not doing well, and I want to help encourage you a little bit. So I'm going to read this with you and follow along. I'm a failure. So don't try to tell me there's so much potential inside me, because at the end of the day, I'll never measure up. I need more experience. I've been struggling too long, and don't try to convince me that there is real value inside of me, because deep down, I know I'm useless. And nothing you say will make me believe I will make it in this world. When I'm coaching people, There's so much of that right there, belief, in even what we just finished talking about. In just the day-to-day, mundane tasks, it's not working, you're not seeing the fruit of your labor, and the business can be hard and it can be trying. I want you now to understand that it's what's going on in here that is going to hurt you, and you have to change what's going on in here and what you're telling yourself and what you're allowing somebody else to tell you. But first and foremost, what you're telling yourself: I can't prove you property. I don't like this business. I don't want to do this. It's too hard. Maybe I just need to go get a job, whatever. If you have to go get a job, I understand, but I know what you know, that you know what I'm talking about. So previewing property might seem like, okay, well, that's really like, oh, I don't really want to do it. Just imagine how many properties in 12 weeks you would have seen, right? But I don't want you to be depressed because you haven't done it yet. And I don't want you to be down on yourself because you're not doing it now. Okay. It's about where you're going to start and how you're going to change things now. Okay. And I know I spelled a word wrong, but you get it. Okay. So now that I've read that to you and that didn't feel really good, I want you to look at it with me again. And we're going to read it from the top, going to from the bottom to the top. We're going to read it from the bottom to the top. Okay, you ready? You should be saying this out loud wherever you are if you can. I will make it in this world, and nothing you say will make me believe I am useless. Because deep down, I know there's real value inside of me. And don't try to convince me that I've been struggling too long. I need more experience. I'll never measure up. Because at the end of the day, there's so much potential inside me. So don't try to tell me I'm a failure. What do you think? See, you've got to turn things around, and you have to stop looking at things always the way from the top to the bottom. You can go from the bottom to the top. You can change the way you're working now. You can change anything that you want right now in what's working or not working in your business. Pivot, make the shift, do whatever's necessary. Prospecting is so important. Everything that you look at in your business matters when you've got the right frame of mind. It's all up here. So I want you to start prospecting today. I want you to be looking at where you're going to be going, what cities, what zip codes, what are your themes, what are you looking to do to become that subject matter expert. We talked about the value proposition of a buyer's agent, and all I did today with you is to help elevate it more. I'm staying right in tune with what we just talked about last week to help elevate you more, to say, yes, no, and you're right, and I'm with you, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be amazing. And in 12 weeks, if you look at a calendar, where is 12 weeks from today? Where are we going to be in 12 weeks? If I'm at the end of July, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Mid-October. Yes, Adela. Mid-October, 360 properties under my belt, in my knowledge. I know them like the back of my hand. If I couldn't get inside, don't worry about it. I got out of my chair, I got in my butt, I had a plan, and I went and I drove the area, and I was able to talk about it. I was able to share value to anyone that I meet. And now people, the confidence level that you're going to have and how you're going to be perceived in social media, in your Facebook page, Instagram, Threads, wherever you're at, start raising the bar of your brand, because you're going to make it in this world. You're not a failure, but you've got to change here, and you've got to change your habits, right? So today, I really just wanted to make sure that you got this in your head, that your prospecting needs to be elevated now to previewing property. And you knock doors, and you go and you start talking to people, and don't be afraid to talk to them, because I can guarantee you, it's a guarantee that they haven't seen the house if you knock on the neighbor's door. They probably don't even know what the price is. we make an assumption that they all know. And we also know, what do we know? We also know that when one property goes up for sale, another one follows in the next 3 to 6 weeks, right? You know it does. You know it does. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is the power of how it's going to help you with your listing presentation. And I didn't put it on a slide. I don't always want to put things on slides. I want to talk, right? Have you ever been on a listing presentation and the seller asks you about a property and you don't know? I've been there. Not anymore. I make sure I know what's going on before I go out there because I don't want to look like a dodo head, right? You're supposed to know the area. So you need to preview properties before you go on a listing or presentation. Oh, really? You mean I don't just show up? You should preview properties. We like to just look at the MLS and we feel like we know enough. If you can't get in the property, you're going to get your butt in a car and you're going to go preview because you want to see what's around there. Are they an eyesore? Is that why they didn't get as much? Or it's so pristine and so beautiful, that's why they're getting more. And then you get to their house and doesn't look so nice, right? You need to be able to talk about it, okay? But if you get to somebody's house and you don't know the answer and they're asking you about a property, you feel just horrible, okay? Or worse, there's a property for sale on their street and you didn't even know it was for sale. Okay, that looks really, really bad, okay? How about when you compared a home to theirs, which of course you haven't physically been in or checked it out, but the sellers have been in there and they're going to tell you all about it, and theirs doesn't compare or it compares better, okay? What about if they knew that there's a bunch of power lines surrounding that particular area? You didn't know that there was a wash behind them. You just don't know, and they know. Okay, so not knowing information like that just weakens your presentation. And also having seen other properties before you make your presentation, that gives you more confidence, right? Makes you more relevant. So the more confident you are, the better your presentation. They are relying on your knowledge of the area, the marketplace, the understanding of the floor plans. You can't know it all everything, but you need to do your due diligence. So the strength and the power of your listing presentation is going to get you the listing if you can talk about the area. You can talk about the property that expired. You can talk about the one that fell out of escrow. You can talk about the one that, well, that's the reason why they got that price and that value was because of their view. Of course, they're in the corner. Or the reason why they didn't get their prices, they put in there that they had a view, but it was obstructed by all the trees from the neighbor behind them. You have to be able to talk about the area and the inventory. So you're going to give a powerful listing presentation when you can talk about all the properties that are in that particular area. So what's my recommendation? You heard me say it. You preview property before you go on a listing presentation. Who has time for that? Make time. If you can't get in the property, you go drive by. At minimum, you drive by so that you understand what's going on. And you always check, another tip I'm going to give you is you always check 1 hour before you go out on that listing presentation, 1 hour before. I learned my lesson. Anything new on the market? Anything expire? Anything fall through? Anything go into escrow? Because you want to be able to be in as much of real time about the market as possible. Because if they happen to know that neighbor, hey, we're in escrow, and you don't know, they know more than you. You don't want people to know more than you. It's bad enough that we're not the gatekeepers anymore of all the information. They have all the information that they need. All they need to do is just look it up on Zillow, Redfin, and all these different places, and they're learning so much. And it's at our fingertips what we can learn, okay? So previewing property is gonna allow you to raise your listing presentation and make it more powerful, right? You're gonna meet potential buyers and sellers that you're gonna work with, because now you're gonna go around and you're gonna knock doors. And you're going to talk to them about what you just learned about the property and if they want to know more about it. And conversations is what you're supposed to be doing. So if you preview 5 properties a day and you knock 15 doors and you have 5 conversations, You're probably in line with your goals. If you're looking to do 6 to 10 conversations a day, you killed it with 1 stone by going and previewing property. Now, just think about it. I'm previewing, let's do the math here, okay? I'm previewing 5 properties a day. Okay, 5. If I knock 15 doors, I've got 75 doors that I knocked in the 1 day. MJ, who has time for that? Well, what else are you doing? Just saying. If you're not making cold calls and you're not knocking doors regularly, then this should be what you should be doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do for this business. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how, I want to make 6 figures and I want to whatever. It's called real hustle. This is the real hustle. So if I knocked 75 doors in a day and only 15 people opened the door, and if I'm able to talk to 10, let's say 10 people a day, times 5, talk to 50 people this week. I'm having real live real estate conversations with people. And out of that, we say it's 50 to 1 to get a lead, 55 to 60 to 1. Are you guys even tracking what I'm saying? That this is not rocket science. It's that simple, but it takes work. You got to get out of your chair, you got to get in your butt, and you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're going to do. Monday, I do this. Tuesday, I do this. Wednesday, I do this. Thursday, I do this. Friday, I do this. Saturdays, I do new builds. I do my videos. I talk to my lender. I found out a good financial program for this kind of thing. Deal of the week for single stories, deal of the week for equestrian, deal of the week for luxury. I'm looking for properties under 1,000 square feet. I'm looking for properties that are under 450. I'm looking for properties between 250,000 and 325,000. I'm only looking for condos right now that have, you know, a balcony. I'm looking for townhouses that have direct garage access. What's your reason? What's your theme? It doesn't matter. Pick one. Pick one, write them down. Shoot, if it's that hard for you, ask Chat GPT to give you a bunch of things. You don't need Chat GPT to do that. That was a joke. Listen, decide what you're going to do and then come back and tell me what happened in 6 weeks. How many properties you preview? What's your knowledge? What's your confidence? Look at my social media. People are looking at me as a subject matter expert. And I talk to so many people each week. Imagine if you knocked 15 doors, nobody answered on the first property you previewed. You go to your next property. Oh, but MJ, I didn't go inside the house. So do I still knock doors? Don't ask me that question. Yes, you still knock the door. Hey, did you know that we're trying to help find a buyer for your neighbor's house? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help find a buyer for your neighbor's house. Are you looking to bring somebody in your neighborhood to live near you? Have you been able to see the property? I wasn't able to get in to see the property today. What floor plan do you have? Are you aware of the upgrades that they've done to their property? That property has a pool. Do you have a pool? Conversation. So even if out of the 5 properties, you knocked 15 doors for each one, and you only talked to one, you still talked to more people that day than you did the day before you did the preview. I hope this is hitting you right between the eyes with a little bit of tough love of you're right, I'm not doing it. But I hope it's also empowering you and encouraging you that this is the simplest thing you could be doing. And guess what? It paves the way to making you money because you're in the people meeting business. You're here to be a subject matter expert. And guess what? This doesn't cost you any money. What money is it costing you? It's costing you some sweat equity. It's costing you maybe a little gas. Come on. That's not what we're talking about. This is not buying leads and Facebook ads and spending money waiting, right, to be able to do your return on investment. The return on your investment, your knowledge is an amazing return on your investment because your confidence level goes through the roof. You know more than the average person. I have a realtor in my neighborhood, very well known, sells quite a bit of properties and has for years. If you meet him on the street, he doesn't always know what's going on in the area. And I sit back and I go, really? I thought you worked this area, like I thought you knew this area. It's a small little community area where I live that's very targeted, and you don't know. So that sets kind of a certain level of like, okay, then maybe he doesn't really know this area. He just lists properties. Great, I want the listing too, but my mission is to be a subject matter expert. And I'm in the people meeting business, so I'm going to go out and meet people, and I'm going to raise my value. All right. That value proposition to a buyer's agent was just elevated today with previewing property paves a way to make you money. And this is just as important as prospecting. Right? Okay, guys, questions. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything that they want to share that they're getting? What value did I bring you value today? Do you see? Because that's my job and my mission and vision and goal in life when I am working to support people. Thank you, is that I'm bringing value. So now I want to turn it around and pass the baton and give it back to you. And I want you to go bring value to your community, to your past clients, to the prospects that you're going to meet this week. I want you to bring value to yourself. Bring value and knowledge to yourself with what you're going to give back to yourself and learn. And we could be learning, like I said earlier, all kinds of stuff. I'm sorry, I could just get a list of all this training you could go to. But at the end of the day, what matters more to me is that I am empowering myself with knowledge of the inventory and the market in the area that I work, because I sell real estate. That's my goal. I'm going to help people buy and I'm going to help people sell. So my entire focus, laser, is on that. And that's prospecting. All right. Okay, guys. Next week, any questions, any more comments in the chat? Where's my Facebook peeps? Thanks, you guys. My Facebook peeps, where you at? Where you at? Yay! I'm glad you guys are getting value out of it. That's the goal. That's the goal. Okay. So listen up. Next week, we are going to be talking about the value that you leave behind. Right now, we're talking all about value, your value. So when you meet someone and you are out in the fields and you get to talk to somebody, what are you giving them? If you're knocking a door, do you have something of value to give them? If you meet people in the street, if your business card doesn't bring value. I said it very softly because it doesn't bring value. Your business card is a place for gum. You can just shoot them over an electronic business card, right? So what can you give me today of value? Well, you can share a valuable piece of information with me verbally, but you can also give me something. And what is that going to be? So I'm not going to give it away. We're going to talk about it next week, Wednesday at 1:30. Okay. And then also be prepared for our first transaction talk. And that's going to be in August, I believe, Tuesday, August 19th. I'm adding that value here. Do you see the point of value? Go look up the word value and write your mission statement around that value, what value you want to bring and how you're building your brand. Because value propositions, that's what it's all about. There's also what we call the seller's agent value proposition, right? And how good are you? How good is your seller's agent value proposition? Is it good? Do you bring value? Or are you just, again, if you previewed property, thanks Facebook, I love you guys. I hope you got your good oxygen today. So we're going to talk later about the seller's agent value proposition. We're not there yet. I'm still in line with buyer's agent value proposition. Okay. And now I have given you no money needed, value added task that you need to do every single day, and how quickly it's going to add up with the conversations you can have, the amount of properties that you would have previewed. And just think about it. Before Halloween, you would have previewed 360 properties. Ask me what agent did that. You. Okay. All right, guys, we're out of time. And unless you guys have any questions, any coaching that you need, I'm here. Otherwise, I'm going to say, see you later. And right now, my challenge to you is this. You need to be preparing what properties you're going to preview starting tomorrow, Friday. Leave your new builds for Saturday, and then start picking the 2 cities or the 2 zip codes. You can start with 2 on Monday. And it's every day, 5 a day, 15 door knocks. Watch what's going to happen. See how many conversations you're going to have. Don't worry about what you're going to say. Don't worry. I don't know what to say. We talked about it. You're a realtor. Talk about what you just saw. Bring them value. Talk about what's going on in the area. It's your job. It's your job to know what's going on in the area. All right. Okay, everybody, have a marvelous day. You got your oxygen boost? Yeah. All right. We're going as deep as you want to go. It's time to broaden your horizons and go make some money. So we'll see you later. Everybody have an awesome day. Bye for now.